Hi, and welcome to the Wise Women's Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Angela Council. And with a background as a naturopath, I thought I knew exactly what happened to women when they reached menopause until I experienced it myself. I then realized that there was so much more to this time of life than what was written in the textbooks. I decided it was time to bring this stage of life out of the closet and to have some open and honest conversations with women who are going through the same journey. Wise Women's Conversation has been created to share information and experiences from other wise women in our community. Sit back and listen to the wise women speak. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of Wise Women Conversations. It's Angela here, and this week my guest is Silvana Patrick, and Silvana is a personal stylist. Now, she started out in the world of fashion as a fashion designer. She said she's always loved fashion from a very, very young age. She became a designer and she even worked for Vogue New York for a short amount of time. And then she got a little bit disheartened with all of that, and she moved into the corporate world. And then she started working with women who are in corporate to help them find their unique style. She realized that she wanted to work with real women, and this is what led her to be doing what she's doing right now. And the question that I asked her is, how do we find our personal style, particularly as we age? Now, this is, for those of you who have ever seen me, who know me, I am not very stylish. I'm very much into comfort over style. And even the other day, I had a combination of different colors and, different textures and everything on. And my son looked at me and said, "Mum, what is that?" But I was comfortable. So the top half was quite nice because I had to be on Zoom calls. The bottom half was just a little bit daggy. So I'm pretty well known as being quite daggy. So this conversation was all Silvana's. I just kind of sat there and listened to what she had to say. But we did talk about, as we age, our style can change because our skin tone can change, our shape can change. So how do we change our styling as we go along with that? And Silvana did actually let me know that we all have style. It might be, for my style, it might be a little bit more relaxed than others, but we all have style. We all know what makes us look and feel good. So we all have some type of style. And she describes it as a process, that once we kind of understand the process and we accept that things are changing with our body, then we can find the right type of clothes and the right colors to wear and suit us that we feel comfortable in. And the big quote that she said, which I thought is so, so important, and not just because of the clothes that we wear, but she said it's important that we make peace with the mirror. And this is such an important message, because I know I'm one of the many, many women have stood in front of the mirror, looked at their body and basically hated what they've seen. All they can see are the flaws. All they can see is the loose wobbly bits. They don't see the beauty of what your body can do for you. You don't see that this was a body that brought children into the world, and the scars that you might be holding and the stretch marks are really they're like tiger stripes that you got because you were a mother. We don't see that. We're very, very critical of our bodies because I think the media has told us that there's a certain type of body that we have to be accepted, and that isn't true. And particularly for me, as I've worked more in personalized health and realized that, some of the biggest bodies are the strongest and the most resilient bodies. And women with these bodies are the ones with the biggest hearts. And, it's nothing to do with the shape of your body that determines who you are. And that's why I really love this conversation with Silvana. I mean, she is a stunning woman, but she realizes that everybody has got that beauty within them, and that's what she wants to bring out with the work that she does. She's very much about using clothes to enhance your assets, or maybe cover the things that you don't necessarily like. But this is what Silvana does, and she does it so well. She just helps women to really fall back in love with their body and the way that we look. So I really hope that you enjoy this conversation I had with Silvana. Listen to the gems that she has to share as we go through, and my vulnerability around a little bit about some of the clothes that I wear, the way that I look, and the way that I feel about myself. I'll be back at the end of the episode to have a little bit more of a chat with you. So listen to this wise woman's conversation. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of Wise Women's Conversations. It's Angela here, and today I have the stunning Silvana Patrick with me, and she's going to have a bit of a chat to us about the way that we look and the way that we feel. So Silvana is a personal stylist. So welcome, Silvana. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Lovely to be here chatting with you guys. And it's been I've been good, keeping myself busy these days.
Good. Yeah. So share with our audience, who is Silvana and how did she get to be doing what she's doing right now?
Right. Yeah, I'll try to be a bit short here because it's a long story, right? As we all have stories. So I love fashion since I was pretty much, very young, and that was the natural path to do is study fashion. I'm actually a fashion designer by background, so I really got a degree and pursued my career, and it all happened very fast. I ended up, again, long story short, the highlight of my fashion career, which was the beginning, was a Vogue US. So I worked for Vogue New York. But then, it didn't go as I planned. And I ended up entering the corporate world, stayed there for a long time, long enough. And when I was done with that, I realized that my real passion was working with real people, real women, mostly. And I've been doing that for 10 years. So yeah, there's lots of nuances there that we probably going to go through a bit more in depth during our conversation, but that's pretty much what happened. I started in fashion, had a big hiatus there, and now I am doing what I was meant to be. In hindsight, it all came for a reason, and I'm doing working with real women at the moment, which is absolutely my passion.
So I'm going to admit that I am not very fashionable at all. My focus is generally on comfort rather than looks. I struggle to put the look together because you know how I see the image in the magazine or even just in the window, and it looks so good on the model.
Yeah.
And then I put it on, and mainly because my body's got a bit more shape to it than what the model has. So, and I'm sure I'm not alone. So, how do we kind of find our style? How do we find what works for us? There's shapes, and I've worked with stylists, and we can look at our body shapes and all of that and our colours. But particularly as we get older, that changes, doesn't it? What used to suit us when we were in our 20s doesn't necessarily suit us now that we're in our 40s, 50s.
Yeah. You said something right? Most people don't think they have a style. They think, I don't like fashion. I'm not you either love it or hate it kind of situation. There's not a lot in between. And there are many reasons for that being. For starters, could be your experience or personal experiences. But style, we all have. That's what makes us choose one garment in detriment to another over another. So we all do have styles. And another thing is that it evolves. We are not a product. We are a process in everything in our lives. We change, we age, we change, we refine, or, it's not the same. So the key is really to keep awareness, understand what you're going through, or the changes. Like when we change our body types, which happens through our lives, we go through so many phases. We go through puberty, and then we start working, and we change our lifestyle, and then we get married, they change again, and then we have children, another change, and menopause, and all these things, they play a huge impact on our bodies. So it changes, and we evolve as well. We change industries, we do all these things, and we lose track of how we change our bodies. The mind doesn't process that so fast, so that's a gap there. So I notice many of my clients, they lost weight, right, for example, and they still go to the, when we go shopping, they still go to their old size. It's unbelievable. They lost like 20 kilos, and they still think it takes a while. So it's important to make peace with the mirror. I think it's extremely important, and that's where the reality is. And it's good to keep in touch with it, not obsessed, but it's a friend. It's never going to lie to you. And it's important to keep that, so we don't get caught up too late, like many years passed, and you gain or lost a lot of kilos, and you didn't realize that.
I love what you just said. Make peace with the mirror.
Yeah. And
I think that many, many women are not at peace with the mirror, and because particularly our audience who are in their like mid 40s to mid 50s or so, and their body is changing, and then that's actually a fact of life. Is as we age, as our hormones shift, our bodies change. It will become softer, it will become rounder, and some women will put on weight, and we can do something to lose the weight, but we're never going to regain the 20-year-old tone tight, gorgeous body that we can't turn back time, because as our estrogen levels drop, we lose collagen in our skin, so we lose elasticity. So it's about making peace with the mirror and accepting, well, this is the body that I've got. This is the body that gets me around. Yes, it's rounder. And for many, many women, they've also given birth. So this is the body that has actually brought life into the world, and, it's stretched, it's left some marks. It's like, we need to make peace with what our body's done for us and what it continues to do. Yeah. And then when we can do that, that's when we work with you to enhance and make us feel better from the outside. But from what I'm hearing from you is the journey starts inside, and then we come to the outside to dress it in a way that highlights the inside. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. It's even like if you are in a process of losing weight, for example, which many of us are, it's really important to, when you look, clothes, the beauty of clothes is that use the beautiful word, enhance our assets. We all have flaws and assets. So that's the beauty of clothes. It can enhance our assets and camouflage our little flaws, perceived flaws. In most cases, it's only perceived by ourselves. We are very judgmental on ourselves. We are our worst critics. So that's what clothes does to us. It's when you are in a process of losing weight, for example, it's important that you keep motivated. And when you dress something, it's not that you buy an entire outfit knowing you're gonna lose it all in a few months' time, but it's important to keep that, looking in the mirror and liking what you see, so we keep you motivating until you get to your results. So go ahead and reward yourself with a beautiful piece that complements you, that you're going to be able to use after you lose the weight or just alter weight or anything like that. So yes, clothes, it's the movement outside inwards. Of course, you have to do your inside, inward movement as well. But that takes a little longer. So when you put something you love on you, like it's instant, right? You instantly feel great and put a smile on. It's unbelievable. At the end of any session, the genuine smile on my client's face. It's just priceless. Yeah.
And how come when I work with a stylist and they can put all these clothes together, they look great, but when I try to do the same thing, it doesn't work? I kind of need a stylist in my back pocket all the time.
Or for starters, it's like we always love certain things and we're more interested in certain things. So the information hasn't changed so much. It's just, we always hear that fashion recycles. Of course, they always make a little twist to make it a bit more updated, but the rules haven't changed, right? So that's what you have to master. And so, like the stylists will hate me for that. But like once you master these rules, and they are, you can find them online, and if you're interested, right? If you're really interested, the rules didn't change so much. So the color patterns, the colors combinations, the rules for each body type, it's all about visual balance. That's the key, visual balance. Symmetry, right? The brain loves symmetry. When something is harmonious, it's attractive to the human being. So we know these secrets, but they're not so secret anymore. Like it's just for the one, it's available for the ones who really dig the information or hire a stylist. So that's it. Or perhaps you're not, so like you said, you're not a huge fan, so that's why.
Well, I have things that I like I see things, and I see things that other women are wearing, and I think I really like, so I tend to like lots of flowy type of clothes, but when I put them on, they just seem to hang. So it's like, I don't know what I'm doing, and maybe but also, the one thing I actually did want to say to you, and we've had this conversation before, because I've had colours done before, but what you said to me is our colours change as we age. So what you're saying is the colours that I used to wear before, and I think probably last time I had my colours done was probably at least 10 years ago. Is a good chance that they're not the right colours for me now. Is that correct? Because I've aged and my body has changed. Yeah. So can you just talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. Like I said before, we are a process. So it's not like, it's not like I put in the book and that's your coloring, that's the shapes, and that's it, that you're good to go. That's what happens to most people. So like people get stuck in what they should do or what colors, like if they did their styling before, but they completely forget that their body constitution won't change so much. If I have, wide shoulders, not that I'm going to have narrow shoulders, locked shoulders, but you're going to have perhaps gain weight in your midsection, or you're going to get, if your body constitution is pear, for example, which is narrow shoulders, most women due to hormones and stuff, and wider hips, that won't change too much, right? You're going to get a bit fuller or thinner, but it's not going to change too much. But it will change in if you gain 20 kilos, you're going to be the fuller version of that shape. So that's a bit of adjustment there. But in coloring, yes, even through aging process, but also throughout the year, like we get more tan during summer and a bit more pale during winter months, and we change our hair color, and that changes everything. So what I prefer to do for everything, for that matter, I guide my clients so they go forward, knowing what they should do and not depending on me for life. It's just guidelines for creating harmony for them, for for their outfits and creating that visual balance so sought after. And for coloring, it's the same process as our makeup. So if you know that, you're going to apply that to your body the same way. And it's all about the undertone. And so it's important, first of all, to know your undertone. Is it warm or cool? And that would determine, if the colors are blue base or yellow base.
So what does that mean? Warm or cool?
Yeah, if you look at the back of your, wrist here, some people will know that, like mine, are very, very blue. So it means that I'm a cool person.
Okay.
So other people will have more olive tones here. They're warm, right? Another way is just put a white paper right next to your face. Mm-hmm. If you look more bluish than the paper, you're cooler. And if you look more yellowish compared to the
okay,
paper,
so I'm warm, correct? I'm all
no, you got this pink going on here.
Okay.
So you're kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
As I can see
cool.
Yeah. You're cool both ways.
Cool. Never been called cool before, but that's good.
So that will determine the base of colors you should have. So for example, we have obviously the blue colors and the blue base colors. So we have greens. Green is yellow and blue together, but if the blue in the green is predominant, it's a blue base green. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you have more orange blues. So you have to pick the ones that are best for you. It's the same with red. We have more purplish reds and more, pinkish, coral reds. So if you're warm, you go to the orangey ones. If you're blue, you go for the purplish ones. So
that's interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, again, that's not a big, and the other very important thing is will depend on your personal coloring, and that won't change much. That's what is going to change, right? Your undertone won't change. That's for life. That's how you were born with, but the depth will change. So if you have, by depth I mean like I have dark hair and fair skin, that's a bit depth there. So I can afford wearing deeper hues. You, on the other hand, you're more soft.
Yep.
You don't have a huge contrast. You have less contrast than I do. So you can get away with mid-depth tones. Not so pale, not so dark. The dark will overwhelm you and make you look, more tired. And the pale will wash you out. If you wear, like, for example, light gray, for example, you're going to be very washed out.
Oh, okay.
But if you wear a mid depth gray, that will be very complementary, because you get kind of, like grayish hairs coming through. That's very complementary. So it has to be the same, like the harmony. It's just around your face anyway, right? Because that's where the light reflects right back to your face. Don't worry too much about your bottom part. And that's the thing, right? It's not that I'm going to be worried about the entire outfit. It could be something that's just around your face, a scarf or a hat or whatever you're wearing. So that's it. That's all you have to know. If you go a bit more tan during the winter month, you can get away with a bit more depth in your coloring.
Okay, so what you're saying is really it's only the colour that's around your neck or close to your neck that's reflecting to your face. Part. So you can wear whatever colour you want on the bottom. Absolutely. It's only... So how do we bring... Because you, obviously you work with women one-on-one, and I know that you work online and you take women shopping. But as I said, I like to feel comfortable. And sometimes feeling comfortable means getting around the house in tracksuit pants. And I'm looking at you and I'm sure you don't do that. Or maybe maybe it's just the top that's all done and the bottom is tracksuit. I've got jeans on today. But so how do we make sure that we feel good as well? Because I'm very kinesthetic, so I'm very much about feeling and not so much about I'm not as visual. So how do we mix the feeling and the looking? So that I don't like feeling constricted, particularly around my waist and my upper thighs. If they're really tight there, it just is like, I don't like it.
Yeah. For starters, comfort is number one, right? So if you're wearing killer heels, they're beautiful, but they're not, good to walk in. What's the point? You're gonna walk like you're wearing bricks, and it doesn't look good anyway, right? Doesn't matter if the shoes are beautiful or not. So comfort is number one, especially for shoes and things like that. Like if you're feeling constricted, that's not good. It will show, right? Your body doesn't want that. So that's extremely important to conform, style with. That's why it's important to dress for your body type, because that will follow your natural curves, and it won't constrict you anyway. I mean, we're so, like it's so, we move all the time. We stand up and we present things, and we sit down, and it's not that as it used to be before. We're multitask people these days, and we shouldn't be clothing shouldn't be limiting, shouldn't limit you, shouldn't distract you, right? You shouldn't be, feeling that the fabric's not comfortable. Like it will take you away from what you're doing at the moment. And clothes really should be second skin. You should forget about what you're wearing, not thinking about it all the time.
So this was the joy of stretch material when we started getting stretch material.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm a huge fan, and it's because we have curves, right? It's just has to, and I do want to feel good from morning to the end of the day. We don't want to be like wrinkled or anything like that. So technology is fantastic that way. But yeah, it has to be in both together, comfort and your own style. And you mentioned something that you earlier, that you saw something, you used to see something in a mannequin and like good, and it doesn't look good on you. That's what happens with many people these days, because, especially with the social media thing, it's always been, human being always looked up to other people, especially women. It started with the celebrity, Hollywood movie stars, and then the celebrities, and now the so-called influencers. They're called influencers for a reason, right? They're trendsetters, and we are the mere followers, like who is not on the influencer side is the follower. And because we love it, right? That's what I said earlier. We want that symmetry, that harmony, and they are perfect in doing that. But we forget that they're different. First of all, it's photos can be edited, they're freeze, and and all of that, and we have real lives, and we move and all that. So it's important to, it's good to admire other people and get some ideas, but it's really, really more important than anything else. Just look within, realize that what looks good on you. Don't listen to anybody. They will probably be biased. So look and see how you feel. Connect again, reconnect to your feelings. They won't lie. The mirror won't lie, unless it's an IKEA mirror.
Oh yeah, the ones with the wave in it. So, actually, and you've probably already answered this question, but as we age, are there any rules, things that we need to be aware of, or is it still, as you say, what looks good and feels good for you? Because we are always being told women over the age of 40 shouldn't have long hair, or women over the age of, what, shouldn't do this. Is there really any rules, or is it really just what feels good for you?
It is a bit yes or no kind of answer. Yes, absolutely. If you have beautiful, healthy hair, why not have? I would love to have Sarah Jessica Parker's beautiful long hair, right? But I don't. So what's the point of having long hair if it's not gonna ever look that healthy? So it's the same. If you have gorgeous legs, go ahead and show them off. dress for your body, I would say, right? With, being sensible. But the no part is really depend on your industry, if you're still working or not, and how you feel again, right? It's not just that all women over 50 are now wearing mini skirts. I'm gonna follow them because, it's a movement. If you don't feel comfortable, if you think, that's your weak part, you know what I mean? It's just enhance that things that you really love, right? Because that's gonna be your trademark. I mean, people will remember you by, and that's it. It's all about what you have, what we have at a given time. And I always like my shoulders. They're like, but I don't like other parts of my body as much. So I learn to live with them. And if a trend comes and will put me out of my comfort zone to show another area of my body that I'm not less than confident with, I'll skip that one. Right? It's just be true to myself and how I want to keep my self-esteem whole, as it will.
So you were a fashion designer. So fashion designers really only seem to be designing clothes that are designed for young women. It's quite, I mean,
young and skinny.
Young and skinny, yeah. So how does a woman who, is a bit older, has now, is a bit softer in her, clothes, how does she find, softer in her body, how does she find clothes that can make her look and feel good? Because sometimes the choices are not that great. It's like, because fashion designers often don't make clothes designed for real women.
Yeah.
Or are there some people out there that do? Are there fashion designers that do it and we just don't know about them yet?
Yeah. If you're talking about the high-end fashion, that's pretty much the case, because they are artists and they are selfish. They imagine this woman in their heads and they go for it. But in saying that, there's always a way, if you have awareness enough of your body type, your personal sense of style, like it's a good exercise for you to perhaps know your style. Is it romantic? Is it more classic? Is it more, if you don't have any clue, just think about, how you decorate your home, or the books you read, or the films you like to watch, or even the paintings or kind of art movement. That will be a great indicator of your personal style, because we translate that to all aspects of our lives. So with that in mind, you go and pick the pieces that resonate with that. Fashion is just an offer. It's what's available out there. Style is what makes you, pick the bits and pieces and put them together for yourself. And that's what's the hard work has been done. If you look at, if you look at, sophisticated, elegant people, women we admire, they make it look like it was really, really easy. But believe me, there was lots of effort, lots of magazines read throughout the years, and they really did their homework, and they continue doing, because like I said, we evolve. So that's the same. If you want to really fine tune with your own style, first of all, you need to find out what works for you, and create a uniform out of that. It doesn't need to vary too much, right? If you like, I'm absolutely in love with wide leg pants, and for a long time they were no existent, except for late in similar styles in the 80s or something. So for a long time, it was the skinny jeans were killer for my body type, right? They don't look good at me at all. So for many years I couldn't wear jeans. It was very frustrated because I wanted to wear jeans. And now I'm happy because I found that, it's more democratic. It is more democratic these days for not so skinny, top models kind of body types. If you look to not the so conventional shops, there are some, again, there's a little bit of exercise to be done there, but there are options, which is really, really good.
Yeah, I found a pair of jeans that I loved once, and once I fit into, they were country road jeggings, love them, and so then I went and bought, and I found them with my son. I went with the stylist, she took me shopping, we found them, I got home, really, really loved them, and then I went back and bought 3 more pairs. So I
absolutely
continue to wear the same pair of pants.
Exactly, it can never go wrong. You might change the team. There's a very good brand that it's an American, but you can find it easily here in Australia. It's called Not Your Daughter's Jeans.
Yep.
This is phenomenal for curvy women, or women who's got a real body type, because they're really comfortable and they're really flattering. So yeah, there you go. Like there's always somebody thinking of us too, so which is awesome.
So if one of our listeners, they're going, okay, I need to do something about my wardrobe, have you got 3 tips where do they start? Just 3 basic tips of where they start before they come and see you.
Fantastic time for that. Actually, I really encourage my clients and all my followers. By the way, I'm big on follower on Instagram. If you want to get some tips, I share great tips there. But for me, I'm a huge fan of wardrobe Feng Shui. I'm huge Feng Shui anyway, but particularly for the wardrobe, it's phenomenal. It's really liberating. It's about the energy, because as you know, Feng Shui corresponds to our brain. So if the wardrobe is cluttered, so is our brain. It's the first thing we see in the morning, pretty much. So if it's all can find anything, you get stressed, that sets the tone for the day. So first thing, you have all the time in the world right now, which is fantastic for that. So just put everything out. I would absolute everything, clothes, accessories, shoes. Just make a beautiful, clean canvas. Clean it, vacuum, paint if need be. Start from scratch, and then be very, very honest. What haven't you worn during the past 6 months, for example? And just get rid of everything that's price tag that you haven't worn, you're not gonna wear again.
It's also season change at the moment here in Australia too, isn't it? So it's a good time to start looking at the different seasons, because we're about to go into winter.
I would encourage that to be a seasonable thing. That would be ideal. Next thing is obviously the pieces that are in good quality, good shape, but perhaps need some alteration. Make good friends with a tailor. That's number one. If the piece got quality, it's timeless, it just needs a bit of alteration, go for it. And the third pile is the ones that are keepers, obviously. And distribute, put them in categories and from color. So start with from the lighter to the darker. That way you can, you know where everything is. And goes for the accessories. Put them in the right, kind of places appropriate for them. So shoes in racks so they don't get wrecked. The bags keep their shape, and jewelry don't get entangled. Put them, take care of this little.
You've seen the inside of my wardrobe, haven't you?
I know, yeah, that happens quite often, and but it's so much liberating when you do that. And it's like a therapy. Put your essential oils on, and put some light music, and make that like something a therapy. It's great for the mind, and relate to how you feel about the piece. The ones that you want to get rid of. It's a great time to get rid of, and the ones that you love, that you feel great, and really make sure that you only keep the ones that you feel great in.
Okay, so now that everybody's in their staying at home mode at the moment, because that's when we're recording this, is during the middle of the COVID virus situation. So you're all at home, and it doesn't matter even if if we passed it by the time this recording goes live. Take the time, give yourself the time to sort your wardrobe out. Yeah. Good thing to do, sort the wardrobe out. I do it at a change of seasons because I have all my summer clothes in, and then I take it all out, sort it all out, get rid of whatever I didn't wear that year, get rid of it, and put the winter stuff up. So I do that, even though I'm not that great on the fashion side of stuff, I do actually do the sorting. So actually, before we finish up, please share with our audience how they can find out more about what you do. Now, you said you're on Instagram, so your Insta handle is, what's your Insta handle?
Silvana_Patrick.
Okay. Your website is silvanapatrick.com, correct?
That's right, yes.
Anywhere else where people can find you?
Yeah, I'm also on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Okay.
Under the same handle. So Silvana Patrick, you can find.
So if they do just search Silvana Patrick, they'll find you.
Silvana Patrick Personal Styling on Facebook. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm a blogger as well, so I have lots of content there. So yeah, that'd be great if you could.
Okay, I'll put all the links in the show notes. But anyone who wants to know more about Silvana, go and have a look at her website. Follow her on Instagram, where she puts all of her tips. And if you're actually listening to this and you're not looking at it, because we've got both an audio and a video going today, she looks absolutely stunning. She's sitting there and I'm sitting over this side in my striped shirt, but she looks stunning.
Thank you. This time of the year.
She's living her brand. So before we finish, one wise woman to another, what words of wisdom do you have to share with our audience today?
Well, in this, particular tough times, I would say, just love yourself. That's the first thing, right? We really have to, now that we have more time, just look within and just feel that goodness that comes from your presence. And if, we didn't need clothes started just for, the sake of environment protection, but it became such a, society pressure on us that we have to look or should look this or that way. But if you look good, if you feel good about yourself, clothes is just secondary. I'm a stylist, I live on that. But for me, I do that so that my clients have that kind of feeling. And then they start developing their, growing from there. So that would be my message today for all the women out there.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your time today. And
it was a pleasure.
Thank our audience for listening to us, and I'll be back next week with another Wise Women's Conversations. From my heart to yours, infinite love and gratitude. Bye for now. Bye. I'm back again. So what did you think of that conversation that I had with Silvana? It was just so interesting, wasn't it? It was so enlightening. And as I said at the beginning, I love the statement when she said that it's time for us to make peace with the mirror. And I think that is so true. It's falling in love with your body and the beauty of what it is and what it's done for you, and being so grateful and appreciative for the body that you have, and, how it's got you to where you are right now. The strength that your body has, the resilience that your body has, regardless of how it looks. Now, if you want to find out a little bit more about Silvana, you can visit her website, which is www.silvana, SILVANA, Patrick, PATRICK.com. So you can find everything about her over on her website, or follow her on the social Silvana Patrick. You'll be able to find her. Just stick it into Google, you'll find her. Before I go, I just want to let you know that if you haven't already downloaded it, that the Understanding Menopause ebook is available. It's a free ebook for download. If you don't already have it, If you want to grab a copy of that, and in that ebook, I share with you some of the common symptoms that women experience when they're going through menopause and how you can manage that naturally using food, using herbs, essential oils, and everything you would need to address those symptoms. Plus, I also talk to you about the 5 key steps that you can take to not just survive in menopause, but to actually thrive in menopause and move through this stage of life with ease and step onto the other side and really own who you are and accept your body, your life, and you for who you are. So if you want to grab a copy of that, the link is bit.ly, so bit.ly/menopause_ebook, all in small letters. If bit.ly/menopause_ebook, go to that link, put your details in, and I will send you the ebook. And I'll also send you a couple of other emails which have got a little bit more information that will help you to move through this time of life with ease. So that's it from me. I'll be back next week with another Wise Women's Conversation. Bye for now.